work. I mean, I think that crack cocaine has had the longest, I think the longest history, as far as a drug being around to my remembrance. This is a drug that has had a long career, because it continues to destroy the black community. Now, I'm going to tell you what white America did. Of course, we don't have any laboratories, and of course, we can't create the drug. Everybody knows that. That's simple math. Okay, but during that time, when the crack epidemic came inside of the black communities, not only was we selling the drugs for profit, but we was killing and destroying, not only one another, but we were actually killing and destroying off our own neighborhoods during this time as well too. We were actually, opening up a door in a flood wave, for gentrification. And that's what you see today. There was because listen, during that time, you had a lot of black people being stressed, over taking a drug. You had crime, you had violence. The jail population rose, during that time, pregnancies, and that's what you have today. A lot of kids as well, too, that now they have like, kids out here that's bipolar. That term wasn't heard, before before the epidemic of crack. There's a lot of medical terms, okay, with mental illnesses that they came up with, okay, during and after, okay, the time of the crack era. One is bipolar. You got another one that's ADHD. These are terms that were never mentioned before the crack era. And who benefited from this? White America, the medical society. You had people that own private jails. Okay, and at the same time, also there's another destructive force to separate the black families. You also had the housing authorities as well too that benefited from that too. There was a mayor in New York. I forget this guy's name. His name was Mayor Dinkins. I forget his first name. His name was Mayor Dinkins, and I think he served from 1990 to 1993, if I'm not mistaken. During the crack era, a lot of black neighborhoods, okay, they were destroyed. The buildings became dilapidated because you had a working class people that was before that had really good city jobs. You had a lot of black women, black men that were school teachers. You had a lot of black people that still owned things and that still actually had their own professions during that time. Unfortunately, you had a lot of them that got hooked on crack cocaine. That brings about a lot of stress, and that brought about a lot of homelessness amongst black people as well too. And what goes hand in hand with when you don't care and you're actually getting high off the drug and you're buying the drug, you start selling things out of your house, things you wouldn't normally do. So if it was a case where, let's just say in Harlem, when you go down the streets in Harlem, especially back then, you had a lot of brownstones. You had a lot of Victorian homes that were owned by black people. So, during that time, the buildings got dilapidated. And what Mayor Dinkins did, and New York City has a tradition where they sell buildings off every once in a while for $1, starting at $1. So during the time of the crack era, you had a lot of prominent black people that self-destroyed their own property, okay, brownstone buildings. And what did they do? White America came in there, they auctioned the buildings off, starting at $1. They could have paid $50,000, they could have paid $40,000 for these buildings. But now, 2026, you want to know how much those buildings are going for? Those buildings are going for, and I think that back then you could have gotten a construction loan actually for the banks to actually fund you and help you actually restructure the buildings. But to go to an auction, you have a Victorian style home in Harlem, 2-family, 1-family, 2,500 square feet, 3,500 square feet, and for auction to start at $1. And the only thing that you have to do is get a construction loan, $50,000, $60,000. Of course, the level of the monetary level of the dollar, it increased. Okay, 50,000, maybe 100,000 today, but nonetheless, to pay that amount of money and to sell that for almost triple the amount today. Do you know how much a Victorian, brownstone may cost in Harlem today? You paying anywhere up between maybe $3 million to $10 million, easily. That's easily. So what the crack demic, again, not only did the banks benefit, but here again, white America. Okay, guess who majority of the people that was at them auctions is white America. Okay, this is the reason why today you see so many Caucasians in the black communities. Okay, because this was something that was well thought out. Gentrification. Columbus was the first one, to gentrify America when he came over here and stole the land, and he came over here and enslaved the natives. Okay, white America did that way back during the time of the crack era. They did the same exact thing. They knew that the drug was so strong. They knew that you Negroes would destroy your own neighborhoods. Okay, you got black men, in the neighborhoods. You had a lot of black men, of course, making a lot of money off the drugs. But the white America said, okay, you make the money all you want. Okay, but in the end, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lock you up in the end. When they get done with you, what they do, they lock you up. Okay, when they made billions of dollars off the drugs, now the black man, they said, okay, we had enough. We got enough. Mission accomplished. Okay, not only did the black man get locked up, okay, but you have a lot of people from that era, okay, that's really just getting home and just getting out of jail. Crime, murder in the black communities was up 50 to 60%. Joblessness, 50 up, boom, up. White America, once again, got us again. And we as a people, okay, this is something that we go through continually. What's the new crack? What's the new crack today? It's weed. That's what the new crack is today. It's weed. Okay. What they did, again, what America can't control, what they do, they destroy. What America can't tax, what they do, they find and they say it's illegal. Okay. The same thing like in the past with moonshine. Okay. They can't control it. They can't get tax money off it. So what they do, they make it legal. Now you can go to the store and you can buy, it was a company in Tennessee that makes moonshine, okay, legally. Okay, so what's illegal for us, they make it legal so they can receive money. Too many people are selling weed, growing it in their backyards, hydrogen plants, hydrogen bulbs and all that. They was making too much money. What America said, we need some of that tax money. We need some of that. So what we gonna do? We gotta legalize it. Jails can't hold that many criminals, okay, that's out here selling marijuana. So what they do, they legalize it. Okay, so now they taxing. It's perfectly legal, okay, to destroy your lungs today. Perfectly legal to destroy your lungs today. There's nothing wrong with it. You got THC stores, cannabis stores in every neighborhood now. So why was it illegal, just 10 years ago? So now it's legal. Okay, that's the new crack today. All right. And once again, who benefits from it? CDC, American entrepreneurs. Okay. These are the people that benefit. And lo and behold, our people, like I said, back during the time of the crack epidemic, that was the worst. That drug has had a long career in destroying off the black communities. It couldn't get us in the 60s off of heroin. They said, okay, we're going to try crack. All right. We couldn't get them again. All right. So what we're going to do now, okay, we're going to create new drugs. We're going to create new